Welcome, everyone, to Full Participation is a Human Right, a conference that is more timely now than probably at any reasonable time in the past, when the full participation of everybody is under assault from physical disease, from economic breakdown, from climate catastrophe, and so on. So it's a pleasure for me to be here at a conference like this. I'm flattered to be invited. And I want to urge everyone to work at this, since it is literally about saving modern society from a level of challenges that have accumulated and that threaten to overwhelm us. Let me be clear what I mean. We have been building for at least 40 years to this point. 40 years during which we could have and should have learned the level of danger from our abuse of the natural environment, our fossil fuel madness, our private automobile craziness. But we didn't. We kicked the can down the road, and here we are. Much longer than that have been the racial difficulties in this country, the abusive treatment of African American, Latin, and other minorities. Again, problem not solved, problem kicked down the road, and now it comes back to us big time, only together with the climate crisis. And even that we might have handled. But there are more. The unequal development that capitalism imposes on the world makes a few countries very rich and large numbers of countries in the world very poor. Yet we seem to be surprised each time when the poor people want to leave where things are poor and difficult and often dangerous and go to places where they are at least less so. What is surprising is not that we have immigration, migration, and all the rest, but that we seem to go through the same awful treatment of the migration of people as though we'd learned nothing. And then the big ones you all know about that I don't have to tell you about. The crash of our economic system. Every 4 to 7 years, capitalism crashes. And the nightmare of capitalists has always been that one of these downturns will coincide with some other social catastrophe, like a virus that's really bad. And that's what we have, the worst nightmare of capitalism, that its failure to overcome its own instability comes together with a catastrophe of the proportions of COVID-19. It's too many problems coming to a head that should have been and could have been dealt with. And they all threaten us with no jobs for millions, with no decent income. This is a crisis of labor, a crisis of society, and a crisis of our capitalist economic system. We have to now ask the kinds of questions that a demand for full participation as a human right implies. No limits, go to the basic roots. Let's change a system that isn't working except for the richest few amongst us.